Hello, welcome back to talking about Home 2, the possible Home sequel about dinosaur aliens. Yeah, realistically, this idea will probably never be an actual sequel for Home. But let's be hopeful it will be. As usual, I'm just going to talk about the dino aliens and the plot points. So the first dinosaur alien we have is Chicken Tyrannus. It's based off, of course, T-Rex and chickens, and is also based on some what T-Rex could possibly look like concept art. They are close relatives to the tarbotree, and like every single theropod I've created that is not the tarbotree, they are trying to work for the main villain to hunt the last remaining boov. You'll find out who he is, I promise. I have made two versions of this, the male version and the female version. First, I'll talk about the male version. Now, the males have sharper beaks with the black tip at the end, and they have Giganotosaurus chadchins. Their crest-like combs are longer and sharper, and are red. They are mostly covered in orange feathers, except for their arms and their mane. Their mane is dark brown and their arms are red. Their hands are black with white claws, kind of like the tarbotree. Like chickens, the males are larger than the females. Alright, now on to the females. The females don't have the black tip at the end of the beak like the males. They're also not as sharp as the males, and they lack the Giganotosaurus chadchin. Their crest-like comb is not as sharp as the males. They're also smaller and are pink. Their mane is basically the same as the males, just slightly smaller, and their arms are more of a maroon, pinkish color. They're also longer than the males. Just like birds, females have the dull coloring compared to their male counterparts. While the male's feathers were orange, the female's feathers are brown. So a scene I planned for them is that a mated pair is trying to hunt for O, which is what they were told to do. And the scene plays out as the one scene in Jurassic World Dominion where the Demon Carnotaurus and Allosaurus escape from Malta. They also have their young inside a little playpen, and when O falls into this playpen, the juveniles just look at him because, well, they're curious youngsters. But these babies do help O in one way, though I won't describe what that scene is until a future video. The next creature I'm going to be talking about is the Therasnotherium, or Therizinotherium, whatever you pronounce it. It's based off Therizinosaurus and also Calicotherium, a weird knuckle-walking horse relative. This specific one is known as Trichclaw, a half-blinded female Therasnotherium. You can tell that she's half-blinded because of the eye patch, which covers her very much injured eye. Ever since she lost her eye, and even some of her family, she doesn't like that much company. In fact, is very territorial. Along with the Chicken Tyrannus, she is the only herbivore that actually works for the main villain. And along with that, is very threatening. She's actually third in command with our main antagonist. You will find who he is, I promise, you'll find out who he is. Now I have planned many scenes for this one character, but today, I'll talk about one of them. So this scene takes place after the aerial raptor attack. A aerial raptor attacks the slushiest car and separates our main characters, O and Tip. Basically, once the car is falling out of the sky, O presses a eject button, which sends Tip flying out of the car. Don't worry, she survived, because first of all, this is a main character, so of course she needs to survive, and this character is young, because we can't have any people under the age of 18 getting killed in these PG movies. After landing in a tree, this scene would play very similar to the one scene in Jurassic World Dominion, where the Therizinosaurus is trying to hunt Claire. And just like the Therizinosaurus scene in Jurassic World Dominion, Trichclaw does not notice Tip at all, like she completely misses her. This is due to the fact that Tip is on the left side of her face, basically the side which covers her missing eye. Before she can spot Tip with her right eye, she ends up getting distracted by some troll eggs. She then begins to walk towards them because of two reasons. One, she finds them absolutely annoying, and two, she is extremely territorial. 4 out of the 5 of them end up noticing her and then run away. But one of them, who is blindly singing and doesn't seem to notice her, isn't as lucky. Now, unlike the Tickle Chicken, which just whacked the deer into an alternate dimension, Trichclaw raises her claws in the air and then impales the thing. Now, you don't actually see Trichclaw actually murder this thing. No, instead, you just see Tip's point of view and her reaction And then the aftermath where she basically wipes the corpse off of her claw. And then just knuckle walks away. But again, just like with the Therizinosaurus scene, Tip somehow is able to break herself free from the parachute and lands on the ground safely. Luckily, she isn't hurt by Trenchclaw, who is grazing on some plants. Troll legs and other little creatures, which I will talk about in future videos, come up to her to make sure she's okay. And then slowly say, just keep walking. Doing exactly that, crawling very slowly and trying to make as little noise as possible. Though Trenchclaw does notice her and suspects something is there, possibly the last remaining booth, and slowly follows her. Knowing this giant knuckle-walking feathered beast is slowly following her, she notices a purple lake. She notices some abandoned, dirty, but still usable goggles, puts them on, and then, well, goes in the lake. Trenchclaw stands ominously above this lake, and then lowers her head towards the water, before roaring at it. Then, she swipes her claws in the water, though she only wants to clean the green blood off her hands. And then, Knuckle walks away. Now for the person you all waited for. This is the Dinosaur Rex. Alright everyone, goodbye, that's it, I'm gonna go home now. I'm kidding, I'm obviously lying. Alright, I'll talk about this individual Dinosaur Rex. This is our main antagonist, Commander Forrest Gruff. Yeah, I know that's his name, though, shut up. Now, he's kind of like the Gorg. Now, unlike the Gorg, who just wanted something back from the Boo, the rock which they stole, nah, he just wants their species to die. He just wants their species extinct. Now, the reason he hates them so much is because, well, it's what they did to his planet and to his family. Now, I haven't created what they did to upset him so much, but this is all that I can explain. So the Booth came to the Dinosaur aliens' planet to seek refuge, and even agreed with some of the leaders to, well, not alter the planet in any sort of bad way. Everything was fine at first, and the Booth even taught the Dinosaur aliens how to use technology. But then after a while, they started doing and creating stuff that would actually harm the Dinosaur aliens. I still haven't created what that stuff is. Then, after many disagreeings, they started a war, which resulted in the death of many of Gruff's family. Many years later, he was able to track them both on the moon and on Earth. He took almost all of them except one. That one Booth being our quirky, optimistic O. After a series of events, O tries to convince him that the Booth aren't that bad, and he could tell him that they change. But nothing seems to work since he still has a grudge against them for killing most of his family. But luckily, he's able to convince him that they're not that bad, and he even convinced him to free them. And how does he do that? By saving one of his sons. Yeah, his son was actually going to get killed by his second-in-command, but luckily, O was able to save him. Hell, even as proof that his second-in-command was trying to kill him. Who is the second-in-command? You'll find out in a future episode. Alright, now to end this off, I'll just tell off two more things. So if he was real, he would probably sound like Knuckles from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, or Chief Bogo from Zootopia. And he is the same height as a Dino-Kyrus. The guy's a frickin' giant. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will continue to make this series. Alright then, bye-bye.